Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to another live session with Envat Armenian conductor Envat Andreasian. Welcome again back, Envat. We had already one session 2 or 3 weeks ago, some time ago, and it was specifically on contemporary music. And one of the questions that kept coming up during and after the session actually was about mixed meters and the difficulties and challenges that conductors can have in conducting mixed meters, in passing from regular meters to mixed meters, or in encountering this type of configuration in contemporary and not so contemporary anymore music. So today we're starting with an example. We can start with Boulez, which has a really good example of this kind of what you can find actually in this kind of score. So, Enbart, if you please, the stage is yours. Hi. I think that's correct. Yes. Wait a second. I'm not sure we're on the same page. We're on bar 18. That's the page that starts with a 7. Yeah, I cannot see the page number. No, I cannot see the page number. No, I can see the bar number, but not the page number. That's right. Yes. Yeah, and there's really curious thing that I want to point out here. As you were saying, Boulez writes a lot of information on the page. He doesn't only write 716 to 8, 616, 38, but he also writes in symbols next to the meter, pretty much how the bar should be mm, mm, analyzed in its structure. uh, which is something that you don't find very often. Uh, in many scores, you only find 716 to 8, 616, and the meter, but uh, it it's not that common to find the composer writing down exactly how they want that bar to be um, interpreted in its in its rhythmical inner structure. That's what I mean. Yes. Right. Yeah, of course. I Yeah, I think that that for somebody who's getting let's say acquainted with this music for the first time and sees this kind of a score, it can be quite overwhelming when you see the score for the first time and you're not used to dealing with this type of music, right? So one of the things that can help conductors and players, for that matter, in this case, in getting through it, I would say one of the things is, of course, analysis. That goes almost without saying, even though I'm saying it anyway. But it goes almost without saying, because without it, then there is really no way to get out of this maze of indications and details that are on the page. But then you do get some help from the composer. So I think that if you split it, if you you know analyze it, get the structure, and split it up in smaller chunks, like everything. If you have a big problem, then if you split it up in smaller problems, then things all of a sudden become um, less overwhelming and seem less big. Oh, I think there is a problem actually with your audio, because apparently on in it cannot be heard. They can hear me clearly. I'm reading the comments right now on the Facebook feed. It seems like your audio is not coming. Yeah, but I'm seeing the users cannot, who's watching us is having trouble and cannot hear you. That is a that is a problem. No, they cannot hear you. No. Okay, that's an issue though. If they cannot hear you, then I'm the only one doing the talking here, pretty much. Something that we sort of need to fix. Otherwise, it's saying, yeah, two people actually. We cannot hear Envart at all, and I can't hear a word Envart is saying, which is. It's very strange because I get your signal very well and I can hear you fine. Can you try and say something again, please? Uh, let's try this way. Okay, let's give it another try. Let's see if everybody can hear. Can we get a signal from Cosmin or from Paul who are watching if they can hear what we're saying? I know they can hear me, but Envar, can you just say something and see if they hear you?
Yeah, I will try to say. I don't know what to say. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Okay, let's try and keep going and see if we get another comment back.
I wanted to complete what you said. We always always speaking about analyze, but what does it mean? Analyze what? It's very important. In this kind of music, even especially for contemporary music, yeah. Even if you can hear the recording by YouTube or by CD, it means nothing because you must see the score. It can be easier and understandable. There is also an element to analyze is tempos analyze. As here in Boulez, Marteau sans maître. That's what I begin to speak about tempos. Because metrics. I don't know how do you say. Do you say metric? Yeah.
You mean the meter?
16th or 8th or sorry?
The meter?
The meter? Yeah. If the tempo wanted by Boulez is 50 for the crochet, and if you have 7/16, you must be able to count mathematically to know what is the 16th speed. And then you understood that why he wrote 2, 2, 3. Did you understand what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Is it clear? Yeah. So this is very important, and the conductor must know if it must be multiplicate or divide, and in which case. Sometimes it is wrong. Sometimes it's wrong because we confuse is it faster or slower? Yeah. Is the crochet is faster than quaver or 16 or 32? We will see in Messiaen. This is very, very important. And then you can really choose if the gesture must be 2, 2, 3 or 1, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's happened because it depends of accents, it depends on accords, which must be played together without moving the place of the accord. And this is a very, very important analysis of the score. This is very important. Sometimes it takes so long time because you see the things like that. Yeah, and there's no mistake to make. What is interesting in Boulez that he himself wrote 2-2-3 or 3-3-3, yeah. But you must understand why and how it was divided, and what is the tempo, or how it was changing, and how it is going back. So how fast, because everything is precisely written on the score. I can speak about this bars 18, 19, 20, bar 20. There is the quaver 18, revenir au tempo, and 96 the quaver, you see? Yeah. But the tempo wasn't 96. The tempo was different. And the beginning of this fifth movement, he gave a very important information. Tempo et nuance très instable, unstable, tempo and dynamics. So at the same time, he gave us precisely tempos, even if it is not 108 as the beginning, and he changed to 96 because of the sense, dramaturgy of the music. Yeah, it depends what the music is saying. You don't need words to say something. You can say it also with notes and rest and dynamics and everything. And this is a very good example. And I will repeat all the time that analyze is not only analyze if the piece has been written with a series or not series, what is the series, how it was done, but must go through, analyze dynamics, analyze tempos, analyze accents, analyze sense of the shape of the music and flow of the music, and then you choose the gesture. And in this piece, it's very curious, huh? When you analyze everything, and then you focus your eyes on the Boulet's indications, it's precisely like that. But as you know, this piece cannot be conducted at sight.
No, of course not.
No, of course not. Of course not. So
that would be a suicide.
That would be a suicide. From the first bar, you are dead. Yeah, of course. And when I begin to analyze this piece for to play, nearly 6 months I worked on the piece. Nearly 6 months, but then because when you understand very well the piece, how it was done, what he wants to say, and so on, and you read it as a poetry, and then it goes from here to here. So you cannot make a mistake if it is 7/16 in 2/2/3. You know what does it mean, and then 6/16 3/3, and then 3/8 3/3/3. You know why? So your gesture, your hand, is going without any accident. This is very important.
Yes, it is.
This yes, it is. Very, very important, because analyze only notes, accords, or I don't know, to know how would be sound or played bar 19 with semi-quavers with point. How do you say to point like that?
Yeah, dotted. Yes, dotted. Yes.
Yeah.
Or the one. Yeah.
Dotted. Yeah, dotted. You know how to play it, but if you don't understand why there is a ralentir, ralentando, up of these notes, you will never understand why it's going 2/8 to 6/16.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is in this piece. Yeah, it's very interesting. In this piece, as many other pieces, where the the metric is changing. There is acceleration, accelerando and rallentando in the flow of the music. Means that it's going like this or like this, but the tempo is the same. So inside, in the rhythm is changing. You must know it by heart. Why and how? This is very difficult.
I know. This reminds me of something actually. I did the premiere of an opera many years ago, and I was I was the assistant conductor. It was 20 years ago. I was assistant conductor. It was the premiere of a contemporary opera, of course, and it had. I was only supposed to conduct one performance, and for different reasons, I ended up conducting all the performances. It had one particular passage in it that used to drive me insane. It was a continuous change of this kind, 7/16, 2/8, 3/8, 9/8, 4/4, 3/4, 2/15, 2/16. These kind of really intricate meter change one after the other. And it was that particular passage was, I don't know, let's say 30 bars of it. Not exactly, not how this 30 bars, but 30 bars of real hell. And before every single performance in the dressing room, I was going through that, from memory. I was going through that specific passage religiously, remembering and going through it once and again and again and again and again, because it really, it scared the shit out of me, to be honest. So when you come in contact with this type of music, there are some things that you can only do from memory. The minute you start looking at the score, you fall behind, you get lost, people get lost, and it becomes a real mess. This is why it's really important to do the analysis, to do the structural analysis, the harmonic, everything that's in it, so that it becomes ingrained in your body. You don't have to think about it. You just do it almost on an autopilot. Almost, and I'm saying almost because, of course, you got to listen, and there's the reaction to what's being played. But the movements, the hands, everything that goes, the flow of it needs to be so ingrained in your head and in your body that you don't have even the slightest moment of hesitation. I think we've lost Envart for a second here. She's having some troubles in the
it's going and coming. Our internet is going and coming. I don't know what's happening. What?
Well, you're back now. Okay, I can hear and see you again. Yes.
Technology. Well, you said very well, technology. So there's something. Of course, the gesture, after understanding all elements, musical elements, everything, and to understand how it was done and what it means, and then the gesture must come from here to here, and this one must be mechanical. This is Boulin's word. He said, mechanic, because as you beat 1 2 1 2 1 2, so it's mechanic also, huh?
Yeah.
Then I don't see the difference. To beat during 20 minutes 1 2 1 2, or to do this, because even if a classical piece you didn't analyze, you will never understand why it is 1 2 1 2 until the end.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
All right, but I mean, for in that respect, in a classical piece, if you just if you take a Mozart symphony and do 1 2 1 2 from the beginning to the end, it's a waste of time, both for the conductor and for whoever is looking at you, because I mean, you as a conductor, if you only do that, then you become a time beater and you become a metronome. The orchestra has no use for that. So, but yeah, I mean, the
I
point
didn't.
in a way is the
I
same.
I didn't speak about that. I didn't speak about that.
So I'm really having some trouble in hearing you.
I didn't speak about that. Yeah. What I'm saying. Did you hear me?
Yeah, okay, let's give it another try.
Yeah. What I wanted. What I'm saying that the gesture must be mechanical. I don't speak about the music and the phrases. No, I spoke only about the gesture. It must be mechanical. That's it.
Yeah, in this, yes,
That's it. Nothing
absolutely,
else.
absolutely. You know, actually, this gives me a
For
good,
example,
yeah, go ahead, yeah, go ahead.
for example, uh, when I ask to my students to beat, for example, 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 during 5 minutes, huh? During 5 minutes or 3 minutes, how do you want? It must be regular. If there is a tempo, there is a gesture to make it mechanically. It must be the same all the time. Then the need of music, rallentando or I don't know what, change, but you always have this chop 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 pulsation. Yeah, these are all different things which are details of a very global thing. And here, Boulez, in all the piece, from the beginning until the end, he put how it must be not. This is not real gestures, these signs, not real gestures, but rhythms, indications. So then you know that it's 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. It depends how it is written.
Yeah, of course.
This
But this actually gives me a good, let's say, bridge or a good excuse to jump to the Copeland.
okay.
Uh, I actually
Okay.
wanted to take a little bit of an excerpt from the Appalachian Spring, which is typically the one that is asked in auditions or in competitions. If you do the competition, it's a little bit longer, but in audition, usually they ask this excerpt because it requires a certain type of steadiness, of rhythm, and that kind of mechanical or mechanics that you were mentioning earlier. Now, the thing about this particular excerpt is that it keeps bouncing back between 2 4 4 4, 2 4 3 4, then 3 8, then 3 4 3 8 5 8 4 8. So you have a continuous the Copeland alternates continuously between 2 and 3. And one of the things that I find often with my students, and actually that I had encountered myself, of course, we all started from somewhere. We all made more or less the same mistakes, give or take, when it comes to technique, is the fact that there is often no difference in the height of the 2 and the height of the 3. So if you take a baseline, let's see if I can get on camera actually. If you take this as your baseline and you have a 5/8 bar, right? I'm showing on the screen actually the third bar 323. It's a 5/8 bar. It's 2 plus 3 in this case, very clearly. So there's not even that type of confusion. But it's coming from a 3/8, which is coming from a 3/4. So if you take the subdivision and you have 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3, but if the height of the 2 is equal the height of the 3, or vice versa, if the height of the 3 equals the height of the 2, that is what becomes most confusing for the players who are in front of you. And one of the things that often happens, and that Conductor doesn't give a second thought about it, is that then they have to make up for that. If the 3 is too short, then they sort of have to make up for that kind of time to allow the players to actually play those notes. And what happens is that it becomes 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. So it's 1 2 1 2, and then the 3 comes down in the same place where the 1 is, and then you don't know where to go. Or another example is 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3. So the height is the same, but the conductor then waits, stops the gestures, so stops the flowing of the music, and waits up here because they have to wait for actually that extra beat that isn't accounted for in the space. This is one thing that I often insist on, and that comes, yes, from the mechanical part of it. And in this piece, you have to be mechanical, otherwise you cannot get out of it. It's so precise that if your gesture is not mechanical and is not precise, there's no way to do it. There is a way, actually. The players will do it without looking at you, and they'll just go to the end by themselves. But that's not exactly the purpose of being of being up there. So this is a point that actually goes to the very basic of conducting technique when it comes to these kind of things. It goes to the basic of the spacing of the beats, the pulses within a pattern. In this case, we're simply talking about patterns, so you can actually take this as an exercise. And once even before going into anything else, if when you come in contact with this kind of music, you're unsure, then you really need to slow it down and take it as an exercise until everything is really clear. And this is another example where you cannot look down at the score, because the minute you look down at the score, you're lost. And if you have a moment of uncertainty in whatever it is that you're showing, then you lose the orchestra pretty much. And definitely that's not anywhere you want to go near to. So now going on from this one, there is another couple of pages that you sent me, and they're coming from a very interesting score of Messiaen. Which is the one that now you're probably not seeing it, but this is the one that I'm showing on the screen now, and showing the first page that you sent me. And this is another very interesting score, because when you come into, in the first excerpt that we saw, the Boulez, let me bring that up for a second. We had, quite in a way clear 7/16 subdivision of the bars and the meters within the bar, from one bar to another. 7/16, 2/8, 6/16, 3/8, and so forth. Right? In the Copeland idiom, same thing. 3/4, 3/8, 5/4, 5/8, 4/4, whatever it is, it comes out. It's very clear. In Messiaen, look at this score. All of a sudden we're faced with 3/3, 30 seconds, then 2/16. Then 3/2/2, 30 seconds. Then 2/16. And then moving on, 3/16, 3/2/2, 30 seconds. And then 3/16. Which, of course, poses the problem of how do we approach this? Which is where I leave the word to you again.
Okay, so the approach of this piece of Messiaen I choose some pages from the antistrophe 1, just like that. I choose the place because we have 316 and 322 32, and then 316. So what does it mean? First thing to look first is the tempo indication. I didn't give the page. Yeah, I knew what I'm doing. Per vif, the quaver 160 means that 3/16, how fast or slow is 16th, mathematic.
Mm-hmm.
And how fast or slow is 32th.
Right.
How will you calculate it? Yeah? So, which one is faster than the quaver? Which one is slower than which one?
Yeah, but when it comes to when you have to conduct
This is very important.
Yeah,
Sorry?
yeah. I'm so sorry. There's still this delay in in between within the conversation. So, you're making a point of the mathematics behind it, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
So
when you solve the mathematics, okay, 30 seconds, 16, 30 seconds, 16, quaver equal, sorry, I don't have it, so I don't remember what you said, what the metronome marking is. Now, if it comes to the actual
160.
160, okay. 160, 160.
Uh-huh.
All right. So when it comes to that, when it comes to conduct this, what do you teach to your students if they find this kind of page? How do they physically do this?
How do they physically do this? If you don't analyze, you cannot do it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
but
because you must understand why this. Yeah. So there's no secret, huh? There is 3/16, 3/22, 32, and where is accents, where is inner rhythm faster and slower, and why? How is the phrase is made? How is phrase is made? Yeah. And then, as the in Boulez, so when you know un peu vif, quaver, 116, you know that the tempo is fast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so means that the tempo can be the crochet 160 or quaver 160. It doesn't change anything. It's inside is changing everything. Yeah. So the main speed is 160, egal for quaver. So you can also think from here or from here. You can make the changes. But you must understand why. Where is the accent, what he wants, where is the phrase? Because there is phrases. For example, 3/22, 32, yeah, then the same, and then 3/16, and down 3/16. It's repeating. So the same melodic formula is repeating. So it's fast. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. And why? And how many times? But when you know that, I can say that this piece I analyzed in 1 year, 6 months. I made it mechanically, and then I played it in China. It was very easy, but from the beginning of the work, the most important thing to know how to get in the piece and what to see, how to see, because they are all each are different, totally different. Each movement of this are different. Here, how to beat, for me, it's not very important because when you have mechanically, beat 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, huh? You can do that. So gestures will not change. What is changing inside the structure, the tempo, the phrases, the idea, the dramaturgy, the dynamics, and what?
Yeah, everything. But no, my question was
Rhythmical indication.
yeah, that's all clear. I think my question is, okay, let's pretend that I am one of the flute players, right? And I'm seeing this piece, and we have to rehearse it. So we get to this particular part, right? The 3-3-32, followed by the 2-16, 3-2-2, 32. My, let's say, simple question would be, are you in 2 or in 1?
You just tell him. Because
yeah, I'm asking. I'm asking.
Yeah, you asked me.
Yeah.
You see, it is written. Just a minute. 3-2-2-32. Yeah. Well, it's what I did. I explained to musicians that 32, 16th, or 8, or 1, or 4, it's quavers and quartets are not changing. It's always the same in the music theory. But what is different that they don't play every day 32th. They don't play every day 3/16.
Right.
So you explain them, and they know music theories. So as you and me, so they will understand. But for the rehearsal, which is very interesting, I use didactical, pedagogical way to explain. Yeah, because as I said, they don't play 3-2-2-32 every day. But when you as conductor, you are sure what you are doing. For any piece is the same. The musician trust on you, so he plays. But the most important thing in this kind of pieces, as Stravinsky Wedding has the same problems, or Boulez, or I don't know, anything else. The gesture must be very clear. Not need to do these things. It doesn't work because the musician cannot understand. It must be very, very clear. Very clear.
So actually, we go back to one. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just the delay that doesn't give me creates some issues.
Problem.
But actually, I think this in this case, like in all cases, actually, we go back to one other fundamental of being a conductor and being on the podium, and for the clarity of everything. Yes, there's music that allows you to be allows you a little more freedom, and there's music that demands absolute, as you pointed out, as you put it, mechanical precision. And this is one of these examples. This is one of the things where one of the cases where knowing how to give a pulse to the orchestra so that they understand exactly what is happening is
Yes.
absolutely critical. Because if there's no pulse, there is no clarity, then this music cannot happen. The players cannot understand.
Uh, yeah, I want to say something also very, very important. Um, we are insisting on analyze any piece, yeah, uh, and we are right. But there is something very important. When you want conduct chronochromy, if you don't understand what means for the beginning, for example, this part, he wrote Griffe musicienne. It's a bird. It's a bird. And this piece has been written on birds' songs in the nature. Yeah, I made the experience. I understand very well. If you don't understand what is the connection between this music and birds' songs in the forest, which is mechanical, you cannot really understand the sense of the piece. Well, for example, in the epode, where there's only 4 strings, this is a big noise in the forest. All birds are singing all together. Try to go in the forest where the birds are singing. You will hear some which are very near to you and then fly far. This noise, yeah. If you understand the sense of the piece, you can do anything you want, and you will never be mistaken, never, because the sense is music. As composer wrote, you go inside, it becomes yours. So gestures be yours, tempo will be yours, metric will be yours. There will not be any secret. This is very important, huh? For this kind of very difficult piece. It's awfully difficult
It
to
is.
play.
It is.
To play,
It is.
and to conduct is something. A big experience, very big experience. What is important? I don't want to give. For example, you asked me 3-2-2 how to beat it, huh? This is it's just a bar, which have a sense, which what is coming then, and then and then and then. You see, so there is a big phrase which must be done in a sense of I am playing melody songs of birds. You see how I make the connection, because if we think only gesture, we are not on the good way.
No, of course. I mean that I agree with, because gestures must come from the music. I mean, the music makes the technique. I'm very.
Of course.
I champion that thing every time I can. So gestures by themselves are completely meaningless. So that I completely agree with. But I mean, it all comes down to it can come down to more than one thing. The interpretation of the piece, as in getting the sense of the piece. When you were mentioning the birds in the forest for the other piece, I mean, that goes also. It can go for Beethoven 6, or you can go for the cowbells in Mahler. You have to get that. Sorry.
That's right. You have to go inside.
That is part of understanding or trying to understand. I don't even think that it's the right word, because we cannot understand whatever another human being, whether they live now or they lived 100 years ago or 200 years ago, exactly thought and felt in that at that moment in time. We can make a guess, based on our own experience and transform it into through our own experience. That was the interpretation is about, getting a sense of what the composer wrote and what probably we can imagine. He gives us a guideline and points us to the forest, and then it's up to us to take that, transform it into a certain type of emotion that reflects the music that we are conducting. Nevertheless, when you get in front of a group of people, especially if they've never seen 3/3/32 of either they've never seen it, but even if they've seen it, it's something that they're not accustomed to when doing every day. It's you don't come across this type of music or this type of meters or this type of subdivisions every day. So the first question that comes out is, how do you do this so that we can be together? Then yes, I understand, we all understand the phrasing and going from here to the end of the other page and everything else. That's the arrival point. But we have, in this kind of music, we often find ourselves as conductors rehearsing certain parts, certain specific parts of the score, because is not that clear for the players and they're not together. So how do we get them together? Because then they start asking, of course, the basic questions, and then that's where we need to have an answer.
I want to use one of your words. Once we discussed together, you said gesture reservoir. You remember that? Gesture reservoir.
No, but it sounds like me, so it's fine.
No. But the word reservoir is better than repertoire, huh?
Okay,
Means that, yeah, of course. So the thing is here, for example, 3/2/2, yeah, pa 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 pa. Okay, 1 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. It can be 7/8, very fast. It can be 7/16. It can be like this. It doesn't change. So you must know, the conductor must know what is the principal tempo, and it's egal of what, quaver or quartet or 16th or not. But the gesture is the same. The gesture must be so clear that the musician sitting in front of you will never ask a question. This clarity of gesture. And for me, this is very important. This is two things. To read the score, understand the values, understand dynamics and so on, and all analyze, and clarity of gesture, which is same 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. It's the same gesture, huh? What is changing inside? The rhythm is changing. So your gesture is if your gesture mechanically is very clear from the beginning of the gesture exercise, it will always be clear with 3/2/2/32. It will not change anything. But what will change? Your understanding of the piece. How fast is it? How slow is it? How fast is 32 for quaver 160? Yeah, there's a mathematical exercise to make, because sometimes, very often, we make mistakes. So how fast is 32, or how slow is 32? Yeah. How will you count it? Dividing or multiplicating, what is it? It's very important. And then means that it's like like this, level by level, everything together. So if the gesture from the beginning, as you said, the reservoir of gesture is very clear, it will be always clear, would nothing change. But the music will show you how clear, how clearer, how not clear, how not clearer. It's the music, it shows you. here the music shows that you must be very clear, because this you see, number 41, of course, is playing with everybody together. It means like this. Nobody is out. Nobody is back. All together on the same dynamic and the same articulation. Same articulation. It's very hard for a performer in the orchestra. Very hard. Because they are focused on the rhythm. They are focused on the rhythm. You must help with your very clear gesture to be very comfortable, and they can play all dynamics and articulations, which makes Messiaen music alive.
Yeah. Well, which makes actually every musical
It's very hard to
alive. Yes. Well, I think that this was a very interesting discussion on both. Well, that can combine a bit of what we saw of what we talked about last time with contemporary music, and of these kind of rhythms and difficulties that approaching this kind of music entails. So thank you very much for being part of this, and for doing this again. I'm sure that we'll have another round of questions coming up as
well, I would like, if we can do this in 1 or 2 months, I don't know. I would like to speak about Stravinsky wedding.
Yeah, we can
Because
definitely do
there
that.
is other problems which are related with the Russian text and Russian text accents. Yeah, so the gesture is totally different. Even the same, the gesture must be very clear. They cannot sing. They cannot sing. They cannot play. So to speak about the words need, because words, accents make other needs.
Yeah, that's a very another very interesting subject. All right, well, we can do that for sure. So thank you for your time today, and for taking part in this. And well, we'll see you next time then.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.